You met old girl when she was 17. Dum 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 dum. She's 37, she looks 70. Dum 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 dum. Oh, you went bald and your wife got ugly. Dum 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 dum. Welcome on here. We're singing the blues on the real rush tonight. Bang your head to the opening riff. What is happening, y'all? It's your boy J-Dub here. Welcome to episode 41. That's 41 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. We're doing this a little bit old school. And how is it a little bit old school on a show that hasn't even existed for a year yet? Well, it can still be old school. Just because it's retro don't mean it ain't classic. Don't mean it ain't just because it is classic don't mean it ain't brand new. Motherfucking Living Legend said that shit and Blast Your Radio. But anywho, hip-hop knowledge, we gonna say that shit for another day. We going old school because when your boy started The Real Rush on YouTube back late last September, early October, somewhere around those timelines, I used to film this right late Friday night, early as hell Saturday morning. After I got back from the Friday night Angelica session or whatever session it was from that night. Then that started to, be a little bit too much to have everything prepared on time. But now that I'm doing things a little bit more unscripted, flowing, just off my brain, we're giving this another shot. So currently it's 11:43, July 12th, Friday, 2K19 as we film this. Y'all ain't gonna see this shit until sometime Sunday, probably, hopefully. But yeah, because our timetables, we make it when we can make it, man. But we still fit on somewhat of a timeline. But anywho, enough of my droning on. So we going old school. We filming on Friday night. Last week, and maybe that's why I'm a little non-wired for a change. Not just because of the fact that it's Friday night, it's late Friday night. The fact that I've already, did my 8 hours of work today and fucking afterwards, and a 3-hour time span afterwards, just did a ton of shit before coming back home here to the vault to plot out tonight's episode. But last week, if y'all didn't see last week's episode, y'all need to check that shit out. Episode 40 went all out if you didn't check it out. And if you had the pleasure of being, on my Instagram feed, like I asked y'all to, say, hey, follow your boy on Instagram as always for my live movie check-ins as they occur. That's at JDubChampion, hashtag Real Rush, yeah. We usually do that at the end of each show. For anybody who has done so, they know that I do special previews for The Real Rush on YouTube, Get that hype up and whatnot. And the previews, sometimes they're the same as the episodes, sometimes they're different. But how do I style them? Well, last week, me, your boy J-Dub here, and Rodney behind the camera there, he's somewhat like a producer. He's straight from Devonshire. That's from the Lancashire part of England. He's been here for how long now? About 15 years. He's a little shy, so he doesn't really want to come on camera. But maybe one of these days we'll get Rodney on camera for y'all. But he's straight from Britain, straight like AZA is straight out of Compton, mate. One of these days you'll be able to meet him. And I hope I'm doing that justice. Yes, possibly. Yeah. He's turning really red. And I'm not sure if that's frustration or the ghost pepper that I put in his casserole earlier. But that's old Rodney for you. He's a gaggle of laughs. Anywho, so me and Rodney last week, If anybody saw the trailer, that's what I'm trying to get to. If anybody saw the trailer for last week's episode, it was just balls to the wall, batshit crazy. That shit cost us like something like $850,000. You know, that was just for the fucking preview of last week's episode with the explosions and everything going all over the place. Yes, that was, you know, from the GTA plans of your boy here, but had to sort through all that. And that's not even where most of the budget went. Most of the budget went to the ayahuasca and peyote that we just went wild on and delved into the preview and the editing of last week's episode. So, boom. If anybody checked out last week's episode, that shit was wild too. Like, I mean, just that whole experience was just, every episode that I film of this shit is just an absolute blast. But every once in a while, it just comes, I just feel like it just comes with some extra shit. And that was last week's episode, and the post process was awesome. It took a little bit longer than usual. Like the preview alone, the little 50-second preview took like 4 hours to put together before I even rendered it, I believe. It's just all the quick cuts, and I love that kind of rush. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Have fun, y'all. Love Jada. We'll see you next week on The Real Rush. No. We ain't gotten down to this episode's Real Rush Ticket. I don't know where I was going with that last rant there. All I know is that last week's episode was wild. There was no ayahuasca and or peyote involved in last week's episode, the making of, or any episode, this episode, anything like that. Rodney, is there really a guy named Rodney who is somewhat of a producer? Maybe not. You might meet him a bit later. Okay? But right now, let's get on down to this week's episode's Real Rush Ticket. And there's only 2 movies on this episode's Real Rush Ticket. This episode. I wonder how many times I can say episode. I should make that a drinking game for you mates. Wouldn't that be lovely? You could sit there, and I don't even drink, so I could just sit there and count up the shots as you take them, as how many times I say episode in one single fucking episode. One single fucking episode of The Real Rush here on YouTube. I don't know where that's coming from. We're going to have some water before we get down to this week's Real Rush Ticket. Aquafina. Is this Coke or Pepsi's water? This is Pepsi's water. Fuck yeah. Yeah, that's right. Coke's water is that Dasani shit. I don't know what they'd be using to filter it. I mean, I'll drink it, but that ain't necessarily. How the fuck did we get to water of choice? Water used to just be water. We about to go on some old man rant. Anywho, let's get on down to this episode's Real Rush Ticket. There are only 2 movies this week, and let's get on down to them. Which one we gonna kick off with? Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna randomize it because I don't have this shit planned out. Any, meeny, miny, mo, fuck. That's one. You are it. Whichever one I fucking landed closest to is what we're gonna go for here. Damn, we landed right on Crawl. So that's what we're gonna kick things off with on this episode's Real Rush Ticket. So Crawl. This is the new horror joint from director Alexandre Aja. Aja? Aha. Aja? Aha? Aha? Oh, aha. I do apologize if I just fucked up your name, sir. I seem to have a running thing of fucking up people's names, but hey, you know, I ain't no etymologist, you know, when it comes to like, you know, the details of the cast and crew. I do my best, but I do apologize anyway, Sir Alexandra. Anyhow, so this is the new film from Alexandre Aja, who, if some of y'all don't know, he did the remake of The Hills Have Eyes from last decade. He also did that joint Mirrors, Kiefer Sutherland, our boy fucking Jack Bauer, yo, David from Lost Boys, shit. And this is produced by Sam Raimi. He's done tons of stuff. Darkman. He did the original Spider-Man series from early last decade. He had a hand in Don't Breathe. That came out a couple years ago, which I stated last episode is in my top 10 pick of best horror movies of all time. Fucking fight me on that shit. But yeah, I said that. So let's get to Crawl here. So, Crawl. This follows a chick played by Kaya Scodelario. She's from the Maze Runner movies, if y'all have seen any of those. So that way you kind of know who she is. So she was the main chick in the Maze Runner movies. She's down in Florida. She a swimmer, yo. For University of Florida. She a gator. Ooh. Foreshadowing there a little bit and what's going to happen in this movie. So, a Cat 5 hurricane hits the state of Florida. That ain't no damn surprise. Ooh, I probably shouldn't be saying that. If anything is happening right now weather-wise, which I think something just may be, I do apologize. I'm not trying to make fun of anything anyway, but hey, I'm just state facts is facts. And fucking them states get hit by hurricanes on the goddamn regular. And this movie ain't no different. So, Florida getting hit by a Cat 5 hurricane. Her and her sister been trying to get in touch with their father for hours and hours and hours. He lives like down in like the corals with, you know, like where it's really shallow and there's levees that can break a shit and there's gators and shit. She goes on down, try to find out, you know, make sure he's okay and whatnot. She finds him trapped in the crawl space. But what else is down there? But some alligators. The gators, y'all. And they gotta outwit the alligators. And make it out of not just the crawl space and from the alligators, from the gators alive, but make it through this Cat 5 motherfucking hurricane alive. Father's played by Barry Pepper. He's been in a lot of shit. He was in Enemy of the State. He played Dale Earnhardt in the biopic that ESPN did a number of years ago. He was in that notorious movie, Battlefield Earth. Yeah, that dude. So, Crawl. It's only 87 minutes long. It just trims the fat off of everything. And in that sense, it is comparative to Don't Breathe. It just, you know, it just dives right into it to, you know, go with the flow of the movie. Ooh, coming up with all types of swimming references, which is crazy for a motherfucker who can't swim, except for in his dreams. Right? I know, right? I can swim like a fucking champ in my dreams. But right now, throw me in the damn water, that's it. Game over. But, so Crawl, so I might not even make it to meet the gator in the first place. So, Crawl, to outwit the gators, it is very suspenseful. And it doesn't rely on the jump scares. And it's got that, again, it's got that horror, that old schoolish horror movie kind of feel to it. But again, it's very quick. Like things are happening. And the crazy thing about it is, you know how I usually say that if a movie doesn't feel as long as it really is, then that's usually a good thing. And that's the same in this case. But this one feels a little bit longer than an hour and a half. But it's condensed. But it feels longer in a good way, because it feels like things are just, holy shit, like what's happening next, like with the gators and everything. So that going in, the acting, it's not the greatest. It's not too bad either. It's decent enough, you know, to pull off a movie of the scale. You don't go into a movie like this or Deep Blue Sea or even Jaws for that. Well, Jaws did have some phenomenal fucking acting in it. You gotta give them that. But you don't go into these kind of like disaster, hybrid, monster animal movies for, you know, the Oscar-winning acting. If the acting's there, that's great. But not to say that Kaya nor Mr. Pepper did a bad job either, because they're both awesome in their own right. But that's cool. The dialogue, it's minimal. It's there when it needs to be. It's more reliant on the action and the suspense and the sound or lack thereof. And the fact that, I mean, you're surrounded by water. And the surround sound in this movie is on point. So yeah, Crawl. Should you see it? Hell yeah, you should see it. Who's this movie for? This movie is for horror fans. This movie is for somebody who's looking for a good midsummer jolt, but doesn't necessarily want to go to the lengths of actual midsummer, which we got to last week. I had something that I was going to add to that review from last week, but it's gone. I blocked it back out. That movie still hasn't simmered the fuck in yet. Alright? Like, I don't like reliving it. But, so back to Crawl. But Crawl, on the other hand, that was easy. That was quick. We saw that last night at the end of a doubleheader. I suggest that you do the same. At least go see Crawl. It is a very good theater movie, given the action and the scares and the brutality of, because you know shit's gonna happen. Rated R. Gators. Fucking croc skins, son. Whatever. Them gator shoes. Gator make bitches spin around like they're in a crazy washing machine. Crawl. Go check it out. Yes, it is good to check out in the theater. I'm not just saying that. I think that most people will get a sublime kick out of Crawl. That is, I mean, if I had to pick between the two movies of the week, I'd have to pick this as the Real Rush pick of the week. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Go see Crawl. Get yourself some gator action. And let your boy know what you thought. Because that's the one that everybody's been kind of up in the air about. I do say, go see Crawl. Now, we're going to go over to our other option. Our only other option. The only other movie on this episode's Real Rush Ticket. We got the new action comedy joint. Kumail Nanjiani and my boy Batista, or as he wants to go by these days, Dave Batista. Stuber. Now Stuber follows the intersecting lives, if you will, of just fucking world-weary LAPD detective Vic, played by Batista, and Uber driver Stu, you know, mild-mannered and shit, played by Kumail Nanjiani. Vic, he needs somebody to drive around and shit, because he got the LASIK surgery. He can't see for shit. Driving around. So boom, that's where their paths meet. And Uber, or Stuber, is driving Vic around through the escapades of LA to track down this just ruthless killer. You know, he's got a vendetta. They've got a fucking Batista and Iko Uwais. Is that how you pronounce his name? I'm not sure. But he's the main villain. He's the fucking guy from the Raid movies, and he was also in Mile 22. So boom, that's how you know who he is. Him and Batista, they got a fucking vendetta against each other, y'all. LAPD versus fucking ruthless killer. And you got Kumail Nanjiani in the middle. Laugh riots ensue. Take it from there. Boom. That's stupid. I'm a little apprehensive there because I don't want to give too terribly much away. Because I do want you to see this movie. Where would I land this on the how you should see it series, whatever. Yeah, take your pick your poison. We'll get to that in a second. So, Stuber. Not quite as funny as I thought it was going to be, judging from the trailer. Not necessarily saying that all the good parts are in the trailer, because that's not the case either. But it does still have its laughable moments. It does still have its laugh out my fucking loud moments. The chemistry between Kumail Nanjiani and Batista is one of the selling points of the movie. And the other big selling point of the movie is the action sequences. I think they played out quite well. This, same as Crawl, had a little bit of an old school feel to it, as you know, as far as, you know, action comedy, buddy comedies go, you know, especially involving a cop and some regular old Joe citizen. it did have that kind of feel to it where, you know, some serious shit does happen in it. It is brutal at points. There is a body count in this son bitch. Like, it's like some old school 80s shit in its own. Doesn't quite hit the mark as quite as I thought it was going to. Not necessarily. Would I give it a second watch? Abso-fucking-lutely. And that's not just my Batista bias speaking. Like I said, it did have some laughable moments, like some laugh out loud moments, and the action was awesome. And that's not just me talking, that's talking from the audience that was present last night at Hoyt's at our doubleheader. We wrapped up our shit in one night on a Thursday for this episode, y'all. Yeah. So yeah, Stuber. Where would I personally put it on where the average Joe should see it meter? The average Joe? I'd say you'd probably want to matinee this one, unless you really want to see it. But other than that, if you are down for some, just some, how can I put this here? The laughs aren't a mile a minute. The actions, sequences are where it's at. So if you go into it not expecting, you know, like a riotous comedy, although if you find it riotous, then awesome for you, then it hit the mark for you. But personally, if you don't go into it expecting that, you'll be awesome. So yeah, Stuber, check it out. Like I said, Average Joe, matinee it. If you really want to see it, then just go see it. But most certainly, go see these joints in the theater. Crawl is most certainly a theater movie. The audience last night fucking loved Crawl. Yes. Yes. We got the suspense and yeah. And I ain't never seen no alligator up close, and I really don't want to fuck with no alligator up close. I remember what that went down in that scene from Eraser. Oh, that's another thing that I need to bring up about Crawl right there. The CGI and the special effects of the gators and of the storm are superb. And here's the kicker about all this. So this is all supposed to take, like, the gators. I'm not sure if they used any real gators at any point in the making of this film, but they look pretty damn real. If not, like, animatronic or some shit. That's one. Two, the storm effects. I'm imagining that they had to, you know, use some type of big ass, like, you know, like water tank, like a la Titanic or Deep Blue Sea, which used the same water stage. A little bit of movie trivia there for you. But the fact that this is supposed to take place in Central Florida, this shit was filmed in Serbia. And they made it completely look like Central Florida. Like, it looks like Central Florida in the fucking movie. That is awesome. So, awesome on the location scouts for being able to come up with that shit. And I don't know how they pulled off the storm effects, and like it's awesome. So that alone, enough is another reason to see Crawl. So boom, Crawl. That's going to be your main event. Stuber. That's the one. Since you only got 2 movies out this week, go ahead and make that shit a doubleheader. Do it the same way I did it. Make Stuber your appetizer. And then make Crawl your main entree. And that's this week's Wade for the Real Rush here on YouTube. And for the Real Rush on YouTube, for episode 41 here on YouTube, that is a wrap, ladies and gents. Anything I need to mention here before we fully wrap things up? 2 things, yes. So, excuse me. Thing number 1, as I mentioned last week, I did do a guest spot on the District Wasteland podcast. Still waiting on that episode to be posted. So once I do have the link for that, I will post that as soon as that becomes available. So just keep your eyes open, unless you already subscribe to them on Facebook or whatever other platform they post their shit on. Check them out, or just Google them. Shit, do that. That's what Google's for. Everybody's sitting on $800 worth of Google these days, and going on social media, like asking, like, how the fuck do you bake a pie? Bitch, Google it. Different type of rant for different type of day. Anywho, so that's, we'll post that link when it becomes available. And of course, this is the last Real Rush that, well, not of course, but this is the last Real Rush before the next Stagecoach Bandits show, the next third Friday show. We're back on Fridays this month in July, so that is going to be Friday, July 19th, 7:30, up at the Stagecoach Theater Company. Tickets are available now. That is $12 online, $15 at the door. Online purchases close at like 5 p.m. day of show. You might want to check that part online. But if you go online and purchase your tickets and use the promo code John, you get yourself a discount, baby. So where do you want to go to get your tickets? You want to go to stagecoachtc.com/stagecoach-bandits. Once again, that is Stagecoach Thomas Campbell.com/stagecoach-bandits. Booyah. Come out to the show. Get your laugh on. It's, like I said, we're back on Friday. And that's our main event night. So that means we're going to have more than the main event crowd there. So get your tickets early. Next week, up on episode 42 of The Real Rush, we will have reviewed for you. We will have... Oh, we got a nice little episode coming up for you. We're going to have The Lion King. I am looking forward to this particular live action remake. It'll be interesting to see how they pull this one off, but definitely looking forward to that. Marianne and Leonard, Words of Love. I'm actually planning on peeping that shit tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. So fingers crossed, we'll knock on wood here. We'll have The Farewell review for y'all. And we'll also have The Art of Self-Defense. So next week's going to be a little bit more on the indie side. So definitely stay tuned for episode 42 of The Real Rush up here on YouTube. In the meantime, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, any shit like that, go ahead and type those on into the YouTube page where you're viewing this video right now. Or hit me up with a DM. I will get back to you at my earliest possible convenience. Thank you for subscribing thus far if you have. If you haven't, what you waiting on? You want to hit subscribe right now so that way you get the latest instant notification when the latest episode of The Real Rush drops on YouTube. And please, everybody, spread the word of The Real Rush like everybody should be spreading love these days. And as always, you can follow your boy on Instagram for my live movie check-ins as they occur. That is at JDubChampion, hashtag The Real Rush. And for The Real Rush, I am your boy JDub, ladies and gents. Thanks for watching once again, y'all. Remember, when you're at the movies, chill out. Don't be doing all the talking and the checking of the cell phones and the smartwatches. I guarantee you, all the discussions and all the text messages and the time, all that will be waiting for you after the movie's over. I guarantee it. Chill out. Enjoy yourselves at the movies. Have fun, y'all. Love J-Dub. And we'll see you next weekend. Peace out.